representation of any data that you have. If you want a graphical representation of data, then you employ what we refer to as a chart or a visual representation of data. This is what we refer to as data visualization. Now, there is a theory in your BDA notes known as data visualization. Now, data visualization simply means to presenting your data in form of a chart. Now, at this level, we'll be doing basic charts because you're calling them basic. Then later on, you'll see us doing pivot charts. Now, pivot charts are meant to be interactive so that things can change anytime that you're presenting your data. But before we move to pivot charts tomorrow, let us start with some very, very basic charts. Now, Excel has so many charts. We have column chart, we have area, we have pie, we have scatter, gauge, radar. There are so many charts. To insert a chart, you start by selecting the data that you want to use for your chart. In this case, you're going to pick this. Now pick from students to BDA all the way to team. From students to BDA all the way to teams. So from students to BDA, then team, that way. Go to insert. Then I prefer going with recommended so that it gives you the recommended chart for the data that you've selected. If you feel the ones recommended don't suit what you want, you simply click on all charts where you can find all charts in Excel. So there's all charts here. Column, line, pie, bar, area, all the way to combo. There are so many charts that you can add in your data. There's also waterfall and so many other charts that you can use in this kind of selection. Go for column. Now under column, there is the first clustered one, you can see. Then there is the other one, stacked column. There is this other one, 100% stacked. Kuna hii, another one there, all the way to the 3D ones. You also have the 3D ones. Now just go for the first one, clustered one, then click on OK. That's a chart. It will pop. And what follows is this chart can be removed from here. Doesn't mean that where the chart is where you leave it, blocking some important data like this. Don't do that. You position this chart. It can always be carried. Now, as you carry it, make sure that you're clicking at the right place. If you click here, you cannot move it. If you click here, you will not be moving the chart. You're supposed to click somewhere here. See this area or up here or on the other side, then it can move. Not inside. Make sure you are outside, then move it somewhere like where mine is. Adjust the size. Not too big, not too small. That is okay. That is okay. Then we start editing the chart. This provides chart elements. There's a place here for chart elements. Chart elements. Click on the plus. There's axis. Don't interfere with the axis. If you do, this is what happens. You see, it removes some things that were there. So the axis will give you these parts and the other parts. So never remove the axis. The axis, I mean, axis. Axis titles, this is the x-axis and the y-axis. Click on axis title. You will see axis title, axis title. Now data table will look like that because I don't want my table to look like that. That is data labels, I mean. You can position and see. You want them to be inside end. You want them to be outside end. You can see outside end. Or you want them to be a data callout. But indeed, I don't want those things. So remove data labels. Data table looks like this. If you want your data to have some table, then you can see the data table. You can move alongside data table and they are with legend keys or with no legend keys. With legend keys, with no legend keys. There is something moving here with the legend and without legend. I don't want data table. I don't want it. Error bars, things that look like that, because I don't want error bars. just remove it. So I don't want error bars. Grid lines you can do without, or you can do with them. Now I prefer using grid lines, but which one? I move along with this arrow and I untick major, primary major. Then I move with the primary minor horizontal and primary minor vertical. I prefer using those two. The minor, I remove any major. You have your own preference that you can use. Now, things to do with the trend line, we'll be doing them later. Trend line is used in some, let's say a line chart. If you want to do a trend line, there's a serious BDA questions, management accounting, that talked about a trend line. So when we get there, we'll be moving back to this trend line. But you can see a trend line. If you want to do a trend line, you can see that some line will be drawn. That will be a trend line, and I don't want a trend line. So remove the trend line if you've done. Then students, this will be the, now start editing the chart. Students. Here will be marks, or can use course. Title. This will be student. The students' performance analysis. Performance analysis on those core subjects. Students' performance analysis on those core subjects. Yeah, that's how we do a chart. That's how we do a chart. As simple as that. As simple as that. Then, also learn of the following tools. On the chart, depending on the version of Excel that you are using, my performance is wrongly written. This will be students' performance analysis on core subjects. Now on the chart, there will be a place for chart tools. Depending on your version of Excel, you will see chart tools at the top. So chart tools has design and format. So mine is here. There is design, there is format. There is design, there is format. So mostly I use design. That is what has a lot that can be edited. So there is design. Yako iko na chart tools, you will see design and format. Click on chart design. Under chart tools, somewhere at the middle of your juu, you must see chart tools somewhere. If you're using 2024 like me, then it is chart design and format just on the other side. You can only see it if you clicked on the chart. If you are outside the chart, those things disappear. You will not see them. But if you click on the chart, the menu pops up at the top. Now on design, there will be color. The first thing is color. So we'll be changing color. We'll be changing color to a different color. Yes. You change color to a different one. Any different color. Then I'll come to this last. There's a place for, okay, you can also deal with this. You can change the style to a different style if you want. I prefer not changing a style, but if you do prefer changing a style, go ahead and do. If you want to change a style, it's okay. Okay, let me change a style. Why not? Finally, there is selecting or switching row and column. One can switch row. That's how it looks like. We've switched the row and column. Again, you can just click on that and it goes back to normal. Then selecting data, our data is already selected, so we don't want to select data again. It's already selected. Just leave that. Then change chart type, I want to use it next. Change chart type, I want to use it next. Okay. Now, can you do a Control C? Control C to copy the chart. So Control C. Then do a Control V. Just click somewhere else and do a Control V. You realize I've copied the same chart. You're placing them next to each other. Position properly. Next, just to each other. Copy and paste. Copy and paste. Control C, Control V. So Control C, click where you want it to go, then you do a Control V. Now go to Chart Tools, Chart Tools, Chart Tools, and change chart type on the second one. Click on the second chart, not the first one. The first one remains as a column. Now for the second one, change chart type. Change chart type. Do you have box and whisker? No. Waterfall. There's a nice waterfall here. A waterfall and this data, they don't match. They don't match. Think combo, no. Funnel. Go for line. Line. Go for line. You can see I'm changing the chart types. So I'm going for line or box and whisker. Yeah, not box and whisker, line. Line. Then okay. Just click on line and then okay. Then change colors or you can change design. The design should be different. Which one is that? Chart tools. You cannot see it if it's not connected inside the chart. Yes. So I changed my chart type to that different kind of chart. That different kind of chart. Line. Line, line. Line is at the top. Of course, I did not talk about labels. You can also change the labels. The legend, I mean, the legend is the key. You can decide where you want to take the key. It can be on the right, like this one now is on the right. The legend can be on the left if you want it to be on the left, or it can be at the bottom. And I want mine to be at the bottom. Now, finally, we are again copying. I'm pasting. We already copied. Just paste. Just paste here. Because we had already copied, just paste. We had already copied, just paste. Paste chini. Please again change chart type on the third one. Chart type. You can use another chart type like which one? Change the chart type to what? Bar. Bar. Bar, the second one looks good. Or the first one, yeah, the first one, then okay. So bar, then the first one. Drag it down. Needs to be a bit big for bar. I hope it's not overwhelming. Overwhelming. So that is bar. If there's any error, you can just edit on the bar chart. Change the design of that bar. You can also change the colors of bar. Change the colors of that bar. The other one, I can also change the colors to a different one, but that is fine. Last chart for the day. Last chart for the day is pie chart. Now for pie chart, we select differently. For pie chart, we select differently because move back to the data. Don't select any chart. Just move back to the data. Now make sure you are keen on this now, because if you don't select properly, it will bring a blank chart. Select from students. No, select from financial accounting to BDA. So from financial accounting to BDA. I've not selected students. From FA to BDA. Now drag, scroll down. I've not selected any digit. Hold down the control key. Make sure your control key is down. Then select from the figure 54. The moment you click on 54, don't leave. Then just drag to 61. The moment you click here, don't leave. Drag all the way to 51. From 54 to 61. Then leave now. The control key and the mouse. Now we will know if you selected properly or not when we'll be inserting the last chart. Insert recommended. At the moment you don't see anything there, when you go to recommended, just know you selected poorly. You have to select again. So you repeat, select from FA to BDA, then leave the mouse, then hold down the control key. Now click on 54 and don't leave. If you leave, that is the starting of selecting poorly. Then drag to 61 while still holding down the control key. You can now leave the control key and the mouse. And now go to recommended charts. Recommended charts. If you don't see anything there, wrong selection. You have to reselect again. So you don't have to proceed if it's already empty by the time you are clicking recommended. Then go to all charts. Then pie. Go for 3D pie. 3D pie. 3D pie. Then okay. You will get a 3D pie. Cut and paste it huku chini. Just paste it. Remember, I'm arranging them so well to form what we refer to as a dashboard, but not an interactive one. Recommended charts, then all charts. Pie. 3D pie. So that's my 3D pie. 3D pie. It requires some special editing. That one requires some special editing. Let us finish the editing. For the last, we have like some 5 minutes only. Now editing is done as follows for this pie chart. Click on the plus. You will click on the plus. Then it moves on the other side. I can see mine is on the other side unless I plus, then you'll see it here. If you don't see it on the right side, it's on the left side. So the plus, then data labels, click on the arrow. Then you will see more options. Then go for category name. So there is value name, go for category name. Now you can see under category name, you can see the unit and the scores.
Mwalimu tafadhali.
So to repeat on this, click on the plus. Click on the plus, then select data labels. You see the arrow on data labels. There is an arrow here on data labels. If you don't see these things here, they have moved this side because the space is not enough on the other side. Data labels. Then go to more options. More options. Now under more options, initially it was this way. So we are saying click on category name. Now we see if you click on series name, it will look like this. So we don't want series name. Just click on category name. remove value, you don't want value, but include percentage. So I've selected category name, I've selected percentage, then scroll. I want label position to be outside end. So outside end. Now click on this number. It will bring something, this number. Scroll again once you click on the number. Now select on general, click on the arrow on general, and you will find percentage. So you click on this under category, click on the arrow and select percentage. That is all when you are editing that one. So once I close this, I am left with a very nice chart, pie chart. I don't need this legend, so I click on the plus. I click on this plus and remove the legend. There is no need for legend because it already has the titles and the percentages. Now the title will be average performance analysis or subject performance analysis by average. This will be subject performance analysis by average. So subject performance analysis by average. Enter. That way. So subject performance analysis by average. Then lastly, you can change colors. We already know how to change colors to any other color that you want. Then you can also remove the blocks. You just click, hold, and drag outside to remove the blocks. That way. So if you want the blocks to come back in, just click, hold, and drag. Click, hold, drag inside. Click, hold, and drag inside. If you want them out, click, hold, and remove out. You can also change individual color. You can click on the individual block, go to the home menu, and change from the font. There is font here that you can change the colors to whatever you want. Any other color in the home menu, and just pick a different one. Different colors. Home menu under the font and select different colors that way. So that is a pie chart. And finally, you can also copy a chart to its own worksheet. By the way, you can also copy a chart to its own worksheet. You can copy a chart to its own worksheet. You want to copy this, or before we copy, what we've formed here, I'm minimizing, I'm reducing the zoom so that we see all the charts at once. It's what we refer to as a dashboard. But remember, the dashboard is not, in our case, it's not changing automatically. So it's not interactive. Later on, when we'll be doing pivot chart, our dashboard will be interactive. We'll see that tomorrow with an interactive dashboard. So this is just a dashboard. A dashboard is a group of charts put on one page. But if you want to make it interactive, then you do pivot chart and include other things like slicers and also timelines. Now for this, since it's just a normal dashboard, we want to learn the last thing, which is to copy a chart to its own worksheet. And I'm using the pie chart. I'm copying that. So copy, just paste below it. I've just pasted the same thing. So the second pie chart is what I want to take to a new page, to a new worksheet, the second pie chart. Chart design, then move chart. Move chart. Move. Once you have a duplicate, like I have a duplicate, go to the chart tools under design, then move chart. Move chart. Move chart. Yeah, move chart. Then new sheet. Take it to a new sheet. Give it a name. Pie chart. Pie chart. That is all, then okay. Now the move chart will move to its own worksheet and it looks big. In fact, it is here, pie chart. Remember we have the basic charts. Now we no longer have the other one that had been copied. I had copied down here, but remember it has been moved to its own worksheets named pie chart. Then since this came before the other one, this can be dragged and dropped on the other side. So that we have basic chart, then pie chart that has been moved. So that is how we do the basic charts in Excel. We'll be doing a lot of charts again. This is not the end of charts. Most of our questions there also have charts that we'll be inserting. So wherever we insert those charts, then the journey started here. Tomorrow will also be a day of charts because the